Good Sunday evening, everybody. Happy fall. Meteorologist Keith Gibson in the First Alert Weather Center. We have made it to a new season. Fall began this morning about 7:43, and now we are fully ensconced in a new season. Let's get into our discussion. First, let's check out a couple of sky cams here. All quiet here. It was a little bit of a gloomy and wet start to the day on our Sunday, but now we are doing okay in Appleton. Unfortunate with the marathon that was canceled earlier this morning with the rain and the storms in the region, but right now things are pretty quiet. Same story in Green Bay and Shawano, Sturgeon Bay. Let's go to Sturgeon Bay right now, pretty quiet too. Still some boats in the marina there, but they are dwindling a little bit as temperatures are gradually cooling down this time of year. But man, we just had a really warm streak of weather over the last 11 days. But let's get into our discussion here. And I do want to recap the rainfall that we had over the last 24 hours. We had some beneficial rainfall in parts of the region here from Hortonville to Waiawega, anywhere from about 3 to 3.5 inches of rain. That's the bullseye as far as the most significant rainfall that occurred here in northeastern Wisconsin. Some pretty good rain with those storms that were moving through last night and earlier this morning. Now, this was what I'm calling a feast or famine event. We had the higher totals in that bullseye, the highest in that bullseye, but generally speaking, from Green Bay southwest, we had the higher end amounts as far as a half inch to an inch to several inches. To get north and northeast of Green Bay, and things really dropped off quickly, much lighter amounts of rain to the northeast. And unfortunate because that's where we have the driest conditions in our area across the Northwoods and parts of Door County and the UP. We just could not get some beneficial rainfall in that part of the area. Now, our time lapse from this afternoon in Green Bay shows some of those showers going away. It took all day to see some clearing, and man, if you were looking west over the last hour, you may have seen a really nice sunset, very colorful here across northeastern Wisconsin. It was pretty nice as we closed out the day here. But we've had some rain, and rainfall going forward for this next week is looking pretty meager. Not a lot going on. It's going to be a pretty quiet and benign week as a whole. Now, there will be a little disturbance moving through on Tuesday, just a 20% chance for some showers here. Most of us probably won't have a lot of significant rainfall there. And maybe next Sunday, there could be a few showers around the Great Lakes region. But again, that's a little bit iffy, and we are still 7 days out from that. So a lot of sun this week. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler, close to the average for tomorrow and Tuesday, and we will warm up a little bit heading into the end of the work week. As far as severe weather goes, just want to get you ready to go. We don't really foresee any major problems this week. There could be some frost in the region tonight, especially in the Northwoods, and also tomorrow night too, perhaps in the Northwoods, and maybe some patchy fog around here early in the work week too, in the morning hours. But by and large, should be pretty smooth sailing for most of us this week, rather. Now, this is our temperature trend. So we've had a rash of late season warmth. Again, through yesterday, we had 11 days in a row in Green Bay of temperatures at least 80 degrees. We came down today, and we will stay close to the average, which is now 69. We'll stay close to the average Monday and Tuesday, and then get back into the mid to upper 70s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Probably flirting with 80 degrees here. Some of us will likely get to around 80 later this week. So we're not officially done with those 80s yet. I know it's crazy. The average last 80-degree day in Green Bay usually occurs typically on September 25th. So we're right in that time frame where, in theory, we should be saying goodbye to the 80s. But it's been a warm stretch here, and it looks like it's going to warm up just a little bit later on this week. Now, let's talk about your forecast for tonight. Clouds are clearing, the rain is done, and we have a frost advisory. This is not for the Fox Valley, this is not for the Lakeshore, but this is for areas up here in the Northwoods for Anago, Leona areas west of Iron Mountain, Rhinelander. These areas, typically the colder spots where we've already had some chilly temperatures so far this season. This is where we will have a really the best chance for some temperatures that could be in the mid to low 30s late tonight and tomorrow morning. So if you have interest up here, if you are watching our live stream from this general area, you may want to protect your plants, bring them in. because we are anticipating some cooler temperatures tonight. Our forecast for tonight down into the 30s across the north, probably more in the way of mid to upper 40s to the valley and the lakeshore, but there could be some cooler pockets around here, but by and large mainly 40s outside of the North Woods for lows tonight. So a little bit below average here. We've had some mild days and nights recently, and we are finally back to some fall-like temperatures. It feels nice and refreshing. I was able to turn my air conditioner off earlier or last night when I got home from work, and we had the natural air conditioner with those breezes out there today. Now, your Monday, mostly sunny. Light winds or lighter winds from the northeast at about 5 to 10, and mid-60s to around 70 degrees. Very, very good. This is going to be most likely one of those Chamber of Commerce type days for us here in the region. Just a few scattered clouds, higher clouds moving through our region right now. The rain has moved on out. We will be looking at some great weather tomorrow. But we actually have another little disturbance coming on in to the region, not directly overhead as we get into Tuesday. There's an area of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere. This is out in the high plains, moving away from the Rockies right now. Now, this thing is going to be making east to northeast jog towards the Great Lakes, but the better rain chance is actually going to stay to our south. So at this point, it looks like the better opportunities for rain will be more or less down into parts of Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, somewhere over in here, not necessarily in northeastern Wisconsin on Tuesday, but we will be close, and there could be a few showers around here. So that's going to be the only fly in the ointment in the near term. So let's walk through First Alert Pinpoint Predictor to get you ready for this work week, the first full week of fall. Clouds clearing out tonight. Should be really good tomorrow. Don't really anticipate any problems. Now, as you can see right here, there are some signs that some of these clouds from that disturbance will start to move on in going into our Monday night and into Tuesday. So yes, there will likely be a few more clouds around here. And maybe, just maybe, a rogue shower or two. You can see some of those dotting the landscape here on Tuesday. I really think the better chance of rain is actually going to be down here to the southeast of our region. So, you know, relative to what we just had around here, not really a big deal. We'll take any rain that we can get. It's been really, really dry. But any rain that we get on Tuesday doesn't look to be too significant. Now, that feature is going to go away, and we'll have more or less sunny skies for the rest of the work week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with some warmer temperatures. Now, one thing that is a wild card as far as where we are headed for next weekend. Keep in mind, the Packers are hosting the Vikings next Sunday at Lambeau Field. That's a long ways away. But there's a tropical disturbance down here in the Caribbean Sea, and you can see the clouds blowing up down here. This is expected to develop and drift on into the Gulf of Mexico by the middle of the week, and most likely it's going to be either a tropical storm or a hurricane of some sort by the middle of the week and affect the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. This would be, I believe, Helene would be the name if it does happen to generate. But there's an 80% chance that this thing could develop into a tropical system, move towards Florida or the Gulf Coast by the middle to end of the week. Why am I talking about this here in northeastern Wisconsin? Well, there are signs from various computer models. This is the European model. There's some hints that some other models are also suggesting that some of that moisture could actually get in here, our region, by next weekend. So let's just walk through the timeline. This is Wednesday, and we have a system in the Gulf of Mexico, and by Thursday, approaching the northeastern Gulf. So this is still a long ways away. By this point, we will be enjoying temperatures in the upper 70s with mostly sunny skies here, but we'll be watching what happens down here, not only because it could be a very big weather story, and some of you may have some interest with perhaps some property or home in the northern Gulf Coast or Florida. This could cause some issues down there for sure with some flooding, some wind damage, and of course power outages and those tornadoes that happen to occur with tropical systems. But as we get into the end of the week, notice how this run-up predictor takes this system and throws a little bit of moisture and, if nothing else, some cloud cover our way by next Saturday and Sunday. And time will tell if we're going to get any of that moisture this far north. But that's going to be the big weather story in this country this week. What happens down there in the Gulf of Mexico, which it's so far away, but it still could have a little bit of an impact here by next weekend. And we'll just have to wait and see. But temperatures will be pretty mild as we get into the end of the week and even into next weekend. And it's probably going to be a little bit more humid by next weekend too. Humidity levels coming down now will be pretty comfortable, and then we'll warm up a little bit, and the humidity levels will come on up as some of that moisture perhaps comes our way. Now tonight, skies are clearing out. We're looking at some 40s, 30s across the North Woods, and tomorrow it's going to be a great day. So enjoy it. Hopefully you can take advantage of it. We're losing a couple of minutes of day each and every day now, so the volume of daylight is shrinking throughout the course of the day, but it's still going to be pretty nice, and we'll be warming up to around 70 or into the upper 60s by 3, 4 o'clock here. The dew point trend for the next 7 days, not really a major factor, looking really good and pretty comfortable. The outlier there would likely be next weekend, depending on if some of that tropical moisture can get this far north. So let's go ahead and bring up the 7-day here, full screen here. I've got 69 tomorrow, 70 on Tuesday. If you're doing any traveling tomorrow, should be really, really good. Let's break things out across the region. A mix of 60s and low 70s, mostly sunny skies. Not too shabby here. Great way to start the week. If only we could have had that weather today. But we're getting it on Monday. Now Tuesday, there is that slight chance for a few showers here. I think the better rain chance again down towards Chicago, maybe Detroit. For us, a chance for a shower, just 20%. But around 70 or in the upper 60s here, depending on the cloud cover situation. But we will start to warm up after that. Mostly sunny on Wednesday, 75 degrees. Our overnight lows will be warming up too, back into the low to mid 50s later this week. So the middle of the week looking really, really good. We're up to 77 on Thursday, mostly sunny skies too. Some of us, especially west of the valley, could be right around 80 degrees. And going into our Friday, 78 degrees. Some of us will likely be around 80 or at 80. And let's talk about high school football and just football in general. Our forecast for a few of those Thursday games, really good across the region. Friday, the full slate of games looks really good across the entire region. And Packers in Lambeau on Sunday. As we mentioned, there could be some showers around here, but that's still a little bit iffy. Confidence really high for a great weather for high school football Thursday, Friday. And then next weekend, still a little bit in question because it's going to be based on what happens with that tropical system down to the south. Mid-70s on Saturday, variably cloudy. Sunday, 74 degrees. We'll watch out for the showers there. Now, if you're interested in to see what's going to be happening into early October, looks like we're going to most likely stay with this above average temperature trend. This is the outlook for September 30th through October 6th. So we are looking at the average highs coming down a few degrees each week now, but our temperatures will be a little bit above average, we think, in general here later on this week, and that could carry over into early October too. So if you like these warmer than average temperatures, the trend is looking favorable for you, but at least in the near term, we have some more fall-like air that is moving in tonight and will be closer to the average here as we go through tomorrow and Tuesday. So that's where we're headed for the next 7 days. I hope you had a great weekend and a great start to fall. And right now, there really is no major concern big picture weather-wise for northeastern Wisconsin with any sizable weather maker that could cause a lot of problems for us. But at some point, we will likely pay the piper. Right now, we're doing pretty good. So that's the way your forecast is looking. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. It is going to be ending here soon. We're back to work, back to school tomorrow, back to reality. But make it a good rest of the weekend and a great start to the work week. We'll see you on TV on Action 2 News at 10 o'clock with a full forecast later on tonight.